As you all may be well aware, the Amazon series The Rings of Power has released a teaser, a series of promotional posters, and it also released an alleged conversation with some so-called fans that went on the defense of the show. Amongst all this, the fandom has been divided, and anyone who doesn't think this is going to be a great show is getting the usual East and folk calls, because disliking something is now being akin to the scum of the world. The truth is that those fans who aren't happy with what Amazon has shown think the whole thing doesn't really add to the canon and doesn't stick to it. Their claims have been called, of course, racist. But in trying to defend against the criticism, a show that clearly cannot even remotely follow the books because it doesn't have the rights to anything from the first or second ages of Tolkien's world, and cannot use the now well-known designs for some of the characters and places that we saw in the films because of rights issues, that is, the 25% different rule. These so-called fans are using as an escape route the notion that since Tolkien never specifically said, for instance, that elves were white, that it is fair game to add black elves and beardless dwarf women. Nothing could be further from the truth. This form of defense is ridiculous. It implies that what wasn't written is permitted to take place, and that isn't how things are when it comes to canon. In short, that is not how canon works. It deals with what has already been established, not with what is not there. So to go in a different direction to what was written simply means not respecting the canon, and that's it. And just to be clear, Tolkien did describe elves as being first kin in that book that he posthumously published thanks to his son Christopher Tolkien, called The War of the Jewels. Another defense that they are trying to lay at the fans' feet is that the Jackson movies deviated from the source material as well, and that they also omitted many things that were part of the canon, like Tom Bombadil, for instance. And while it is true, and there was also a fair amount of criticism against such decisions, there's bending the canon and there's destroying the canon. Jackson got rid of Tom Bombadil because of time constraints and because he couldn't really come up with a version of him that he was satisfied with. He swapped Glorfindel for Arwen because he didn't really want to add another character that was going to be unknown for the majority of the audiences and that would require a little bit more time to explain, and he thought that it was a better idea to use a character that at least was going to be there for all three films. Also, he added elves to the Battle of Helm's Deep, and it was something that many fans said, well, this is not really that good, but that also was in line with what he was trying to do, which was save a little bit more time and also to add a little bit more of that action that the movie also needed. In short, his changes sprung from a place of decision-making. He tried to adapt the books to a different medium with the limitations that that medium had. But in no way, shape or form did he ever try to completely obliterate everything that was Tolkien or Tolkien's vision. He just tried to do something that had that cinematic rhythm that is needed for a movie to be successful. Everything else that he got right came from a place of love and admiration for the source material, and he, with the writers, decided that Tolkien's vision and world should be respected, as it is evidenced by a very well-known interview from 2002 where he says that he decided to keep Tolkien's vision and ideals rather than go for what they believed in. The changes we see in the Amazon series are meant to anger and divide the fandom, however. They are there to draw controversy and to accommodate the policies Amazon put on themselves as a studio to tick the check marks that they have listed, and they should be present in every one of their adaptations and creations. They made the changes to be the talk of the town, just in a similar way in which Bilbo's going away was the talk of the Shire for many years to come. And that's what they want. They want to be on everyone's mouths. Amazon is relying on the scandal and the controversy to remain relevant, and that it will spring enough curiosity in the audience to give it a go and make the show a success upon release. This is a tactic we have seen played out before in other studios. Remember Discovery in the Star Trek franchise? Remember Star Wars and the poorly written sequels Disney produced? More recently, do you remember Masters of the Universe and the blunder from Kevin Smith? Because all of them suffered of the same thing. They tried to be controversial to draw attention from the audience. And this is at the center of the issue at hand. Many a times before we have had this subvert audience expectations bullshit play out, and the audience, at least a part of it, has become wiser and avoids it, as evidenced as well by the poor reception the Cowboy Bebop live-action adaptation had over at Netflix. Fans who are excited for the Rings of Power are mocking the other side of the fandom for criticizing something of which they know very little, considering the teaser we have had and the first look from Vanity Fair. But to those who have gone through Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, and a handful of many other franchises that are way too long to list here right now, in which fans were told to wait until the thing premiered to know that what's coming up and they don't want to fall for the bait once more. Let me tell you that more than once is enough for anyone to realize that such procedure is going to deviate in the same result, not something that you really want to watch. Fan gaslighting and confrontation from places like the OneRing.net doesn't help things either. By claiming they're a haven for fans to discuss the show while they cancel, mock and block those who think differently, the people at the OneRing.net have shown that what they spout out of their filthy mouth is a fallacy and that they are only in for the access that Amazon can give them. Funny enough, during their pathetic livestream of the teaser, very few of their guests were diverse. Another testament to their hypocrisy, don't you think? Amazon is already in full damage control mode with the panel of super fans, and that with major air quotes, who are discussing Tolkien and the Rings of Power series over the weekend that earned them yet another demonstration of repudiation from the fandom by downvoting the thing out of existence. And who could blame them? I mean, have you seen the thing? It's so cringe-inducing you might want to check for seizures. These aren't Tolkien fans. They don't even know how or why the Rings of Power were created, and they certainly don't have any idea of what Tolkien is all about, just worrying about the amount of representation the thing has for quote-unquote kids to see themselves and be excited for. Kids nowadays are as clueless as anyone else. I don't think that they have time to really care for something as profound and deep as and interesting as Tolkien. Their teaser has also been downvoted, and while some YouTubers want to construe it as a massive loss for Amazon, being realistic, the thing is quite even in the like to dislike ratio. Still, let's say that a win is a win, right? And as of the making of this video, the teaser has been downvoted in both its American and UK versions, so there's hope at least. Maybe the question is, what is to be done? And as you know, this channel never tells anyone what to do. We only recommend, we suggest. And in this case, we suggest staying away from this thing. If there is an urge to watch this, maybe do it in a platform that doesn't give Amazon the views that they crave, and leave a review on sites like Rotten Tomatoes. It's a site I don't use, but studios and social media pay attention to it. In the end, as a consumer, you have the last say in the matter. You decide whether you want to protect Tolkien's legacy or let it be stained by these fake fans and their twisted version of the world. Either way, let me know what you think down below in the comments, everyone. Until next time, please let's help protect our entertainment and those franchises that we love. Peace out, everyone.